Welcome to ProjectME, the podcast. I'm your host, Tiffany Carter, the founder of ProjectME, multimillionaire entrepreneur, former TV newscaster, money-making expert, female empowerment speaker, and self-proclaimed office supply addict. My mission is to take the mystery out of making big money. Every week on ProjectME, the podcast, I'll share success tips, strategies, and stories from other entrepreneurs, experts, and millionaires, showing you exactly how you can achieve your most exceptional life. Now let's get to it. Exciting announcement for all of my listeners. I've officially opened my exclusive group, the ProjectME Passive Income Posse, to the public. This group is by application only, so we can keep the group high vibe and spend our time, energy, and expertise only helping those of you who truly want massive success and impact. You get live weekly trainings from me, special guest coaches, and direct access to me and my business partner for all of your questions. To learn more and apply, go to projectmewithtiffany.com, click on Work With Me, and select ProjectME Posse. And of course, any questions, feel free to DM me at ProjectME with Tiffany. Welcome to the podcast and posse, ProjectME with Tiffany Carter. I'm your host, Tiffany, and we are going to get you set today to go to the next level in your business. But first things first, we need to maximize the level you're currently at. So if you were at $0 dinero, if you were at $10,000 a month, $25,000 a month, $1 million a month, wherever you're at, have you really maximized where you're currently at? Or are you someone who is always striving to get to 50K months and you're at 10K months? Or are you someone who's at 2,000 a month and you want to get to 5,000 a month? There's nothing wrong with that. I'm all about having, really great goals and push goals and all of that stuff. But if you are not maximizing and in gratitude of where you're currently at, there is no way you're going to get to the next level. No way possible. Here's what I mean by that. Let's say you are making, I'm going to go with a really low number. Let's say you're at 2K a month. All right. Something like that. So you're at 2K a month and you keep focusing on, I want to be at, have 10K months or 5-figure months, or I want to be where Tiffany's at, or I want to be where Joanne is at. I want to be where Stephanie's at. And you're so focused on where you want to be at that you're not focusing on where your feet are planted right now, because you think if I focus on the goal that I want to reach, even if the goal kind of seems far away, then it's going to somehow happen faster. No. That's not how it works. Yes, you can have your goal in mind. You can have it on a vision board. You can do all the things that I teach about manifestation and abundance. But when it comes down to business, I need you to be in gratitude of where you're at today, even if it's not that much. And are you maximizing where you're currently at? Are you doing all the things in your power to the best of your ability with the best possible energy every day? Or are you kind of, toe dipping it and half-assing it, yet focusing more on fantasy thinking of what you want in the future? My trips to Bali and to Paris and photo shoots and speaking on stages and taking my kids to Disney World and being able to make a home gym, whatever your goals are. If you're sitting in that zone, and I call it fantasy thinking, because if you are sitting in there as a form of dissociation versus putting your energy and your time and your action plan into where you're at today, you're never going to get there. You can't think your way rich, people. You know that book, isn't it like Think Rich, Get Rich? You can't think your way rich by itself is what I would want to add. Absolutely, how you think, how you speak, your beliefs are incredibly important, but that's not enough if you are not in action. And I see so many people thinking they're in action because they're really fixated on these goals that are kind of beyond where they're at right now. And you guys tend to go into comparison-itis when you're in that land. And a lot of different things happen. So I want you to be really honest with yourselves right now. And you know the answer already. Are you really giving it your all? Are you really all in and doing everything you can within the best of your ability? I'm not saying to like kill yourself, run yourself ragged. You know I'm not about that life. I'm saying while keeping yourself healthy and your energy high and stretching yourself and growing, are you doing everything possible and going all in on your dreams and goals? I gave you a full breath there because that's all it takes to have the answer. You know, just as I know if I've kind of been, not going all in for a couple weeks or something like that, I don't know, something's happened. I know the answer. I'm very aware. I do daily check-ins, sometimes multiple times a day. So I know where I'm at. But the reality is I can look at myself in the mirror on most days. I would say a solid 90% of the time and be able to say, I truly gave my all and went all in to the best of my ability today and with the resources that I currently have. So I know a lot of you, when I took that pause, are actually going, no, I'm not. I'm like dipping my toe in. I'm scared. I don't have enough money to start my business. I'm not really sure what to do. I'm confused. I'm stuck. I know a lot of different thoughts came up, and those are all fear-based thoughts. Those are all limiting beliefs. Those are all stories. And now you can go, well, Tiffany, I am confused and I'm not sure what to do. Well, then ask. Then ask someone. DM me, DM someone else, ask someone you know, pay for someone to help guide you if you're not sure. But staying in that state is not going to get you anywhere. And daydreaming and vision boarding, your pants off isn't going to get you there alone either. That's just a part of it. Do you guys see what I mean? So at different stages of your business, different versions of you are required. The version of you that's required to get you to $5,000 a month is different than what gets you to $10,000. Different than what gets you to $25,000. Now, there's key markers in my experience of privately coaching over 1,500 people and coaching tens of thousands of people in sales and marketing trainings, business consulting, etc. There are key markers, money markers, and milestones where a crap load more of you is required to get to. And this is very true in my personal experience. To get to $10,000 a month, and I'm talking consistently, whether you're at $7,000 a month right now, $500, right? To get to that $10,000, that's a very pivotal marker to get to there consistently. That is someone who's gone all in, and you are someone who is utilizing Google University. You are being resourceful AF, and you have your head down, and you are very, very focused, and you're humble, and you understand that this is the sweat equity time, that this is when you have to put in long hours in order to teach yourself a lot of stuff, unless you have someone who can help invest in your business. And even so, you should learn a lot of this stuff on your own anyway. It makes for a better business later on. This is, what a lot of people could say is either it's the exciting state, really exciting stage of business, but it's also the most frustrating. I mean, the first 18 months of business are a shit show. P.S. You're all over the place. The next mile marker, so to speak, I should say money marker, is when you go, it's not from 10 to 15, it's from 10 to 25. And you're like, God, that's a big leap. I know. What it takes to get you to 10, and once you're consistently at 10,000 a month, that energy, that mindset, that resourcefulness, that determination, that discipline, that tenacity is already there. And so you keep working that muscle, and I'm confident you get to 10K consistently, very confident you can get to 25K consistently without hiring a single damn soul. Meaning any employees or, people who you contract. Maybe you hire someone to help with some stuff with your website or graphics or something like that. But I mean, you're not even necessarily having to hire a virtual assistant at this point. Now, if you have a brick and mortar business, that's a different story. You're for sure hiring someone to assist you. Every business is unique. And if you have unique business questions, for sure, DM me at ProjectME with Tiffany. I'm happy to help you. And that's on Instagram, by the way. So when you get to 25,000, and that's $300,000 a year, that's a very respectable amount of money. Now you are actually making in the top, it's something like 0.05% in the entire world. That's where you're at, making that kind of money. Very respectable, very doable. But to go from there, I would say the next marker would be 500,000 a year. And I remember, and I share this story, I've shared it quite a bit, that when I was at like 250 to 350, I was in that range, some months are better than others. And I was stuck in a loop there. Now, many people could say, hearing that, well, that's a pretty nice loop to be stuck in. I'd take that loop any day, of course. And part of the problem that I was having back then is I wasn't in gratitude for where I was at, which is exactly where I started the show. I was not in gratitude where I was at, where my feet were planted, at where my business was at that time. I was not in gratitude. I was totally only focused on getting to 7 figures. And I was frustrated. I was complaining. I was whining a lot. I probably sounded very entitled to people and didn't realize it. There was a lot of negative inner bullying going on in my head. I couldn't figure out what I was doing wrong. I truly was stuck in that income bracket right there. And then I started saying, well, maybe I'm just not cut out to be an uber successful woman. Maybe I'm not cut out to be a millionaire, and all that kind of talk started coming up. Well, guess what I had to do in order to break into 500K, 750K, have $1 million business. In order for me to have gotten there, I had to ask for help and hire people. And I don't mean hire like one person. I'm talking a team, and hire a top business coach. I should have hired a coach from the beginning. But that wasn't a thing then. There weren't people like me at that time, which is another reason why I'm doing all this for you guys. There was, Tony Robbins, stuff like that, but there wasn't a me at the time. There were great books, all that stuff. And there were people I could have asked advice to. I could have asked them to mentor me, but for whatever reason, I thought, and it was probably my upbringing, I thought if I couldn't figure it out on my own, then that meant I was kind of a failure and like an idiot. And I was truly a little embarrassed coming from a male-dominated corporate world where you definitely didn't show a sign of weakness and you had to have a heavy masculine energy about you. And, it was like piranhas in there. You didn't want to kind of show like your weak spots because someone would jump on it because they use a lot of fear-based management, at least at that time, in that corporate sales setting. So I didn't want to ask anybody. It wasn't even a question. I was totally in self-will. And therefore, believe me, I hit those financial milestones. And as impressive as they are looking back, I worked 10 times harder than I needed to get there because I was doing it on my own and not asking for help, not hiring paid help, and not asking even for free help from highly qualified people. And they were all around me, just as they are all around you. Some of you have to just seek a little further, right, in order to find those people. But if you're listening to the show, you already have one. Last time I checked, most people don't have easy access to a self-made female multimillionaire. And you do. I didn't have access to any of that. Now, would I have asked a question back then? No, I wouldn't have. I wouldn't have even done that behind the screen. I would not have done it. There wasn't Instagram, but there was Facebook, and I would not have done it. No way. It wasn't even a question. So in order to get to that millionaire mark, which I know there's so many of you listening that want that. And I always ask people, like when I'm doing my goal assessment sessions, I always ask like, well, why, when they say they want to be a millionaire, and I said, why? What is it about that? And it's like, it just means I've made it. That means that I really am truly financially free. And I understand because I had that marker as a big goal of mine too. I mean, it sounds amazing. And it is amazing. Don't get me wrong. I'm very grateful. But a very different version of you is required to get to that mark. Now, here's the thing. As you start going up the chain on how much you're making consistently in the month, the more that's required of you becomes more tedious. So a good analogy, of course, I'm giving you an analogy. Good analogy is, let's say you were extremely overweight. To lose 20 pounds when you're extremely overweight is not very difficult. Let's say you've, progressed in your weight loss journey and now to lose another 20, and it gets harder and harder. You have to tweak your diet more and exercise more to keep losing it. Then you hit plateaus, right? But what is the hardest weight to lose? And I know a lot of you guys are fitpreneurs and wellpreneurs listening. We know it's that last 5-10 pounds that a lot of us carry on us, including me. In order to lose that, we know how clean you'd have to eat. You got to cut out the wine, the cheese. Got to be even more. It's usually in the kitchen, right? I mean, I can work out every day. You've got to be more disciplined with your workouts. You got to drink a ton more water. It takes a lot more to lose that 5 to 10 pounds. It is no different than when you want to get to that millionaire status. It's like that last 5 to 10 pounds. And you take a look on the street, you take a look in the grocery store at a restaurant of how many people are walking around without that excess 5 to 10 pounds. There aren't that many, are there? Just like there aren't just millionaires walking around everywhere. Well, if you live in Los Angeles or Southern California, that's a different story, right? But no, I mean, still, they're not walking around everywhere. A lot of people are fronting, and they got no cash to back it up in the bank. I don't really care if you're telling me you're earning $3 million a year. What do you have in the bank? And a lot of these people, they're chasing a lifestyle because why? They're in fantasy land. They're very focused on, I might make $3 million a year, but I want to be a mogul. I want to make $25 million a year. So they're so focused on that instead of being in gratitude and going all in of where they're currently at, that they are dissociating by buying Bentleys, Ferraris, doing all those things. Meanwhile, if they were in gratitude where they were at and they were being much more mindful with what they were making, they could get to that 25 million much faster. Do you guys see what I'm saying? So just know when you go to different levels, there's different devils. And I say that not to scare you. I want you to know that's normal. So if you are at one of these markers now, I mean, even $0 when you're starting to $2,000 a month, a different version is required of you. For me to go from being in corporate America and for me to make my first check, I think my first check actually was $5,000, which is pretty freaking amazing for a first check. It was like $5,600. And I have a picture of me holding it up, and I do not know where that picture is. It's lost in like digital land. And if you saw the files on my computer, you would see why I can't find it. I'm like not an organized Virgo, but when people organize stuff for me, it's like heaven. Like, oh, I mean, pure heaven. Like I had someone organize my closet for me. And as long as a system is set up, I'll follow it. And I mean, oh my God, it really makes my life. So if any of you are interested in organizing my stuff, let me know, because I'm looking for someone to do it. But it takes a lot of trust to organize files and things like that. I would need to feel really comfortable with you. Here's something that's going to help you guys. And if you want to go all in, you've listened to this, you're like, okay, I hear what you're saying, Tiffany. I've not been all in. I've been in fantasy land. I've not given it everything that I could give it. Well, of course, maintaining, my health and my life, right? And stretching myself, where sometimes you are going to be tired, right? Sometimes you are, just like you're going to be tired having a corporate job. Sometimes you can be tired from being at vacation and being tired from, sightseeing or binge drinking or whatever the hell people do. So you're still going to have those days, but you know that you're not truly going all in. And you're like, okay, I'm ready. I get what you're saying. I can't think my way there. I have to think my way there and behave my way there. Okay, those two things have to match. Your actions and words have to match, or you're out of integrity and alignment. And my number one core value for Project Me with Tiffany Carter and myself personally is integrity. And I just explained to you what that is. What are you doing when no one's looking? Are you farting around, scrolling on social media? Are you pinning shit on Pinterest? Or are you working on your damn business? So you guys have not even a day left to get in on my free live training. That's it. And then you're not going to be able to have access to this. And if you ever are to have access to it, I'm going to be charging people for it. This is a training valued at over $3,500. I get paid a lot of money to teach this to corporations, but I'm going to teach it under the ProjectME brand to all of you guys, because I want to help ignite the amount of sales, the amount of money, the amount of clients in your business, because I truly believe you have wonderful gifts. You are talented. You have big hearts. You're very caring people, or you wouldn't even be attracted to me, my style, my show. And you just need some guidance and clear direction and no fluff in how to get there. You need to sign up for this free live training. It's the 3 critical mistakes entrepreneurs make on sales calls, which is causing them to lose thousands and thousands of dollars and clients. This is great for network marketers, coaches, whether you have a service-based business, you're an accountant, you're a lawyer. This also goes for medical professionals, okay? Whether you have patients and you want to have more patients, this absolutely applies to anyone who has something, a service or a product or both that you need to promote or sell. There are 3 critical mistakes that I see over and over and over again with the thousands and thousands of people that I've coached. And I am going to share those with you and how to correct them for free. But the only way to access it is you have to register, and you don't have much time left. I've already done 1 training. So this is the other training. You go to projectmewithtiffany.com/free training. projectmewithtiffany.com/free training. You can also head over to my Instagram profile, and the link's in my bio, and that's at Project Me with Tiffany. Okay. You have to get registered, and just for showing up and participating in the live training, I am giving you my top 2 video trainings that are the most popular from my membership group that you would have to be a member in order to access them. And even if you already are my ProjectME Passive Income Posse, they still don't have these videos that they can download and keep on their own computer and reference them for a lifetime and share them with people. You're getting my top 2 that you can do whatever you want with. Share them, keep them for life, repeat them over and over again, have your downline watch them, doesn't matter. All right? So I would take action on doing that if I were you. And if you're like, well, Tiffany, I'm not available at that time. Okay, well, if you can't make yourself available, you should, because you are only going to get those 2 free video trainings by attending live, and they have a value of $497. If you can't by any means attend live, as long as you register, you will have access to a replay. So give that gift to yourself. I'm giving it to you. I'm handing you what I wish was handed to me. Now, this is something in my first 5 years of business, even though I was in self-will and I didn't think, I wasn't even an option for me to ask for help. I thought I had to do it on my own. I still read a ton of books and listened to, like at that time, CDs, listened to all of that stuff. That was okay. And if someone had a free training like this, I would have been thrilled because I was absolutely awful at sales and marketing. Then I got amazing at it over lots of training, lots of trial and error, lots of mistakes, lots of things in the corporate world. But when I went and started my own business and I had to sell my own stuff, I was selling me. It was my face. I wasn't wearing a name tag under a company with a corporate, a corporate name on my business card. It was under my name and my brand. I had to learn how to do that in a very different way. And it was not pretty. So if someone had this training available to me then, I would have absolutely taken it as long as I felt the person knew what was up. Now I know what was up. Or what is up? You know what I'm saying. Just join the damn training. ProjectMeWithTiffany.com /free training. So the real question here is, where are you desiring to go in your business next? Don't tell me I want to be a millionaire and you're making $2,000 a month. What is I understand that's your long-term goal. What is your next short-term marker? And what can you do to maximize where you're at today in your business and have your words and your actions match and have gratitude for where you're at, whether you're making $400 a month or $100,000 a month. Have gratitude for where you're at. I would love to know this. Share this episode if you loved it on social media and tag me at ProjectME with Tiffany. And if you really want to put a smile on my face, go take 90 seconds and leave a 5-star written iTunes review. That means so much to us here on the ProjectME team. And it really helps grow the show and keep it going with all this high-end, free, valuable content. Also, I will buy you a coffee of your choice, a celery juice of your choice if pooping is needed, just for leaving that review. All you have to do is put your Instagram or Facebook handle in your review and then take a screenshot of it, DM me and let me know that you've given a review and thank me for the coffee or tell me what your drink of choice is. And we will either PayPal you or Venmo you and treat you to that drink. And if you drink some crazy ass fancy drink, well, then we're going to treat you to that because I want you to have the highest end drink that is non-alcoholic. I'm sure there's some legal reason why I can't buy you a cocktail, although I would, because I'd be down for that, like a good spicy margarita. I'm down for that plan. That's my drink, by the way. Well, and we would make it skinny. I don't like sugary drinks. No es bueno. It doesn't make me feel good. I'm also down for a good dirty martini with blue cheese stuffed olives, but that's if I'm craving salt versus spice. And then if I'm like in summer vibes, like we have an upcoming trip, we're going to the Dominican Republic, I'll probably do like rum with like splash of pineapple juice, something kind of refreshing. I'd love to know what your drinks are. Feel free to DM me and let me know. All right. I love you guys. I hope you really enjoyed this episode. Thank you so much for those 5-star iTunes reviews. And I hope to see you on the free live training. That is literally tomorrow, Thursday, projectmewithtiffany.com/free training. See you guys there. Wishing you great health, wealth, and worth as always. Love you guys. If you enjoyed this podcast, please write a 5-star review on iTunes. Not only will this make me super happy, but it will allow more listeners to find our special show. Simply help me help others.